Hi, welcome back. It's Fun Facts with Connor, and get ready to have your mind blown because today, we're diving headfirst into the wildest, most unbelievable prison breaks of all time. We're talking about daring escapes, cunning plans, and the kind of ingenuity that would make even a Hollywood screenwriter jealous. From scaling impossible walls to digging tunnels longer than a football field, these stories are the stuff of legends. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and get ready to journey into the minds of some of history's most audacious escape artists. You won't believe these stories are even real. Let's get right into it. Alright fam, let's kick things off with a true classic, The Great Escape. Picture this. World War II, 1944. We're in Stalag Luft III, a German POW camp designed to hold even the most cunning Allied airmen. The Germans thought they had every angle covered, but they underestimated the sheer determination of these brave soldiers. Led by squadron leader Roger Bushell, a group of over 600 men decided to pull off the impossible. Their plan? Dig, baby, dig. They were going to tunnel their way out. Now, this wasn't just some hole in the ground. They dug massive tunnels codenamed Tom, Dick, and Harry. They used everything from spoons to stolen bed slats, working in shifts day and night. To hide the dirt, they created ingenious contraptions like pouches sewn into their pants legs, and even a system using the camp's theater to secretly disperse it. Talk about dedication. They even forged documents in civilian clothes for their escape, setting up a whole underground operation right under the noses of the guards. After months of back-breaking work, the night of the escape finally arrived. On March 24, 1944, 76 men managed to crawl through Harry and taste freedom. Tragically, only 3 made it all the way back home. The rest were recaptured and 50 were executed by the Gestapo. The Great Escape remains a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to dream of freedom, even in the darkest of times. Their story continues to inspire us today. Next up, we're heading to the infamous The Rock, Alcatraz Island, home to the most notorious prison in American history. Surrounded by icy cold waters and guarded 24/7, Alcatraz was thought to be inescapable. But in 1962, 3 men dared to challenge that notion. Frank Morris, John Anglin, and Clarence Anglin, brothers in crime and in their quest for freedom. These guys were meticulous planners. For months, they used anything they could get their hands on. Spoons, saw blades from the prison workshop, even a homemade drill fashioned from a vacuum cleaner motor, to chip away at the concrete around the ventilation grills in their cells. They created dummy heads, complete with real hair from the barbershop, to fool the guards during nightly checks. And they didn't stop there. They constructed makeshift life vests and a raft out of raincoats. Talk about resourceful. On the night of June 11, 1962, during a raging storm, the trio made their move. They slipped through the holes behind their cells, navigated the prison's labyrinthine corridors, and climbed onto the roof. They used their makeshift raft to paddle away from the island, disappearing into the thick fog that blanketed the bay. The FBI launched a massive manhunt, but the escapees were never found. Did they drown in the treacherous currents, or did they manage to start new lives under different identities? The mystery of the Alcatraz escape remains unsolved to this day. But one thing's for sure, those 3 men pulled off one of the most daring and meticulously planned prison breaks in history. Now, let's fast forward to 2015 and meet Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the notorious Mexican drug lord. Known for his ruthlessness and vast criminal empire, El Chapo was a master of evasion, having already escaped from prison once before. After being recaptured in 2014, he was locked up in a maximum security prison in Mexico. The authorities thought they had him this time, but they underestimated El Chapo's audacity and his vast network of loyal followers. His escape plan was straight out of a Hollywood action movie. El Chapo's allies dug a tunnel, not just any tunnel, but a mile-long state-of-the-art underground escape route. This wasn't your average dirt hole. This tunnel was equipped with lighting, ventilation, and even a customized motorcycle mounted on rails, presumably to speed up the escape process. Talk about traveling in style. On July 11, 2015, El Chapo stepped into the shower stall in his cell and vanished. The guards, alerted by the sound of his motorcycle roaring through the tunnel, rushed to his cell, only to find an empty space and a gaping hole in the floor. The audacity of the escape shocked the world, and El Chapo became a fugitive once again. His escape exposed the deep-rooted corruption within the Mexican prison system and solidified his image as a modern-day outlaw. He was eventually recaptured in 2016 and extradited to the United States, but his daring escape remains a legendary tale in the annals of criminal history. Hold on tight because we're about to dive into a Wild West-style prison break. This is the story of the Texas Seven, a group of inmates who pulled off a daring escape from a maximum security prison in Texas back in 2000. These guys were no ordinary criminals. They were serving long sentences for violent crimes like murder and kidnapping. The ringleader, George Rivas, was a master manipulator who orchestrated the entire escape plan. Their scheme involved careful planning, a bit of luck, and a whole lot of audacity. On December 13, 2000, they overpowered civilian prison workers, stole their uniforms, and used a combination of deception and brute force to make their way through multiple security checkpoints. They even managed to lock up several guards and inmates along the way. Talk about adding insult to injury. Once outside the prison walls, the seven escapees became a modern-day outlaw posse, embarking on a 3-week crime spree to fund their life on the run. They robbed a sporting goods store, a radio station, and even disguised themselves as security guards to pull off a daring jewelry store heist. Their exploits captivated the nation, but their freedom was short-lived. One by one, they were tracked down and apprehended by law enforcement. The Texas Seven's escape remains a stark reminder of the importance of prison security and the lengths to which desperate criminals will go to break free. Get ready to step back in time with me to 1864, during the heart of the American Civil War. We're in Richmond, Virginia, at Libby Prison, a Confederate prison notorious for its harsh conditions and overcrowding. Inside, over 1,000 Union soldiers suffered from disease, starvation, and the constant threat of violence. But amidst the despair, a spark of hope ignited. Led by Colonel Thomas E. Rose, a group of determined prisoners hatched a daring plan to escape. Their plan was as audacious as it was simple: dig a tunnel. Now this wasn't just any tunnel, it was a 50-foot-long tunnel, painstakingly dug over several weeks using only improvised tools like spoons, knives, and even their bare hands. The prisoners worked in shifts, under the cover of darkness, carefully disposing of the dirt by scattering it under the floorboards and mixing it with their meager rations. On the night of February 9, 1864, 109 Union soldiers made their move. They slipped through the tunnel one by one, and emerged into the cold night air, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. The escape was a logistical nightmare, with so many men trying to make their way to freedom without being detected. Some used the darkness to their advantage while others disguised themselves as civilians. Tragically, many were recaptured, but over 50 men successfully made it back to Union lines. The Libby prison escape stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unyielding desire for freedom, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. It's a story that echoes through history, reminding us of the sacrifices made by those who fought for what they believed in. Wow, we've covered some seriously mind-blowing escapes today. From digging tunnels to impersonating guards, these stories prove that truth is often stranger than fiction. Can you believe the lengths people will go to for a taste of freedom? It's incredible to think about the planning, the courage, and the sheer determination it took to pull off these escapes. These stories are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope, even in the darkest of times. If you enjoyed this wild ride through history's most unbelievable prison breaks, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more mind-blowing fun facts. Until next time, stay curious.